Hi, I'm Jo Alcorn, owner of Whitewash & Co. You might have just seen me on HGTV's Home to Win. Today we are in my client's basement where it did not look like this before. It was dark, it was dingy, and it was not a basement you wanted to come in by yourself. It has now been transformed into a family oasis, and it all started because my client wanted to expose the natural stone behind me. My clients are young professionals, they have 2 children, and they love their cottage time. The other thing though is they use the cottage as a rental income. So we needed to make sure that we had beautiful pieces, but pieces that were very functional and durable at the same time. The wish list for this renovation was actually pretty big because it was a useless space before, and they wanted to make sure that they still had a space for them to gather and watch TV. They wanted a space that they could enter from the water into this area, keep the kids contained, and then they wanted something that was very rustic but clean, and also a space where the kids could just kind of hang out and they didn't have to worry. When it came to the space, I was kind of limited on how I was going to be able to lay out, where the TV and the hangout space would be. But the main thing I wanted to do was utilize the biggest part of the basement, and then that could become the TV area. So it was kind of dictated on where the zones could be. And in this space, we were able to get a nice L-shaped sofa. We were able to get a big console area here for the TV and some extra seating. So it just made a natural little living room space. One thing you always want to think about when you are designing a space is storage. And this is why I went with the Cutler TV unit here, is because it gave us a ton of storage and shelving, and it also in drawer space. But the really cool thing is it has no back, so that we were able to really enjoy the view behind this. The accent wall behind the TV is a real showstopper, and I wanted to make sure that it still tied in with that whole earthy, rustic feel, and that's why we went with the earth covering tile and kind of matched the color with the stone, so it just had this really nice flow throughout, but it gives a different dimension and interest to the space. And then I carried that through right down onto the floor, where we used a porcelain tile that looked like a hardwood, but isn't, so it is more durable, but again, we have the consistency of all the materials. It was very important that we expose and show as much of the natural landscape within this basement as possible. And I can't tell you, I've never had a client ask me to use rock within their basement. So I wanted to make sure that we gave it the right attention, and it just became an element that we started to pull the colors from and the different materials, and it really becomes that beautiful wow factor within this space. One of my favorite things to do in a space is create different zones, and I love that this area automatically gave me that opportunity. Because it's kind of a wasted space without anything else, I thought, wouldn't this be beautiful to bring in a fireplace, a couple of chairs, and now this becomes an awesome little sitting, reading area, but at the same time, it's utilized. The bathroom was a scary place, and the one thing that the clients wanted was it to be utilized because it is the closest to the lake. So it's the perfect access point for the kids to run in, use the washroom or run out, or even use the shower. This is a walkout basement, and the thing that was there before was this little door, which is a little window above, which was not that inviting for coming in or out. By opening up that whole space and putting in a beautiful glass sliding door, it now brings in more natural light, and it also becomes more of the outside plus the inside. The toughest part of this whole renovation is we are in cottage country, so getting contractors and materials out this far was a little bit challenging, let alone this was a very old cottage. So when you start opening up walls and changing, the footprint, you can get into some, uneasy territory. But at the end of the day, it turned out beautiful, and my clients are more than happy with the space, and I know that they're going to use it for a long time to come.